So the idea that you would go and support and help our #1 state sponsor of terror around the world, but stab our friend Israel in the back is as unconscionable as anything I can imagine.
I'm Dave Rubin, and believe it or not, people, I am live in studio with a guest. She is the former governor of South Carolina, the former U.S. ambassador to the UN, the author of the book right here in my hands right now, and a real human being. I can't believe it. Nikki Haley.
This is so fun. This is
welcome.
Great to be with you. Thank you so much.
I mean, first, we just got to do this part. I mean, we're sitting just a few feet away from each other. I have not done a live interview in person since July. My last one was Ted Cruz, so you got to follow up Ted Cruz.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But just to sit with another person.
Oh, it's so nice, right? I mean, we've been through a lot. The country's been through a lot, but I think the country can't wait to just be open again and be moving and, you know, start to live life again.
Yeah. Are you shocked how long it's been? I mean, a year and a half later, it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and here we are.
I mean, I think if you had told us all of this was going to happen, you know, prior to 20, nobody would have believed it. But to really see all the forces at play, you know, the fear tactics, the idea that they, you know, keeping kids from school, the masks, the, you know, just the over-exaggeration of everything. I hope it's taught a lesson, which is, look, we all want to keep people safe. We all want to do our part. But there is a role that government has, and there's a role that government doesn't. And the idea that small businesses, that we lost thousands of them through this. The idea that people were not allowed to make their own decisions. That's a real mistake, and we shouldn't let that happen again.
So as a conservative, do you think, in a weird way, as terrible as this has all been, this has been the best argument for sort of small government policies, that people are kind of waking up? Look, we're here in LA right now in California. You know my feelings about this place. That real world examples have sort of led people, I think, to fall more in the conservative bucket.
Look, I think we have to see this for the opportunity it is. It was a reminder that states should be able to control what happens, you know, in terms of laws. We don't need the federal government mandating down. States know their people best. If you look at, you know, whether it was Georgia when they were the first ones to open up and people were screaming about it, a governor knows where their hot spots are. A governor knows which areas they have to be careful of. So allowing governors to decide that. But if you look at the states that stayed open versus the states that closed down, you had more deaths in the states that closed down. I mean, there is something to personal responsibility. And when I was governor, I always thought when we had hurricanes, you educate, you give people the facts, then let them make the best decision for them and their families. Government doesn't need to make that decision for them. And this was a real lesson during COVID of, you know, it does go too far. And when you watch the economy and what we've been through and the number of people out of work and the small businesses that have closed, it didn't have to happen that way.
Yeah, so you don't think that governors should just pick arbitrary dates like June 15th, as Gavin Newsom, who is now being recalled, should do? You don't think that was the best idea?
I think it's pretty crazy. I mean, I really do. I think that the idea that, well, first of all, I think he knows a recall is on the way.
Yeah, well, right. You think it has a little something to do with timing?
California needs to open up. But no, I mean, I think, look, people can make good decisions. I still believe in the goodness of people. I still believe that they are perfectly capable of knowing what's best for their children and their families and what they're willing to do. And government needs to just move out of the way. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
And people have to remember, government breaks more than it fixes. Always has.
What did Ronald Reagan say? The worst 8 words? I'm going to slightly butcher it. I'm from the government and I'm here to help you.
Yes.
Pretty much that's where we're at. Okay. I know we could probably do an hour and a half just on COVID and all that stuff, but you sent out a tweet yesterday in the midst of this John Kerry firestorm that is erupting right now. So I actually want to read the tweet and then we'll give a little context to what happened. You said, "This is disgusting on many levels. Biden and Kerry have to answer for why Kerry would be tipping off Iran, the #1 sponsor of terror, while stabbing one of our greatest partners, Israel, in the back." And what this is in reference to is audio has leaked of the foreign secretary of Iran basically saying that then Secretary of State John Kerry told him about Israeli strikes in Syria. This seems like a massive scandal, but in the 24 hours since it got out there, like, yeah, the right is talking about it, but pretty much nobody mainstream, nobody on the left. But this seems big to me.
It is big. I mean, Biden and Kerry have to answer for this. I mean, this is, first of all, if it's true, he can't.
I mean, it's leaked audio of the Foreign Secretary of Iran.
He can't be in the National Security Council. He shouldn't be a cabinet member. Biden should answer for it. Kerry should answer for it. I happen to believe it, and the reason I happen to believe it is Kerry and Zarif were very close. They worked on the Iran deal together. Obama and Kerry never liked Israel. They basically stabbed Israel in the back even after the election was over in the UN at the Security Council. And so the idea that you would go and support and help our #1 state sponsor of terror around the world, but stab our friend Israel in the back is as unconscionable as anything I can imagine. But it's so typical of the Obama 2.0. It's so typical. And I think it's dangerous. And I don't trust Kerry. I don't trust him to not have done this. I don't trust Biden to make Kerry answer for it. And I think we still have to be loud about it because this is not okay.
What do you make generally of John Kerry? Because it seems like he's gotten pretty much everything wrong forever. There's videos that go viral every now and again of just like all the things that he has said that he has just predicted to be wrong.
I mean, I just think, he was the one that said peace in the Middle East would only happen if it went through the Palestinians. He felt like that we had to be in the Iran deal because otherwise bad things were happening. Yet when I questioned him on it, I said, you knew that this deal wasn't going to last long. You knew that within 10 years they'd be, doing nuclear warheads again. And he said, well, yeah, we just knew it was a stall tactic. Well, stalling is not okay. Fixing is the way to do it. And so, even if it's Biden getting on this electric bike, after he gets off his private plane, it's just hypocritical at best. And that's why I don't think we can trust him. That's why I think anything that he gets involved in, he's an elitist. He's an elitist liberal who thinks he knows better than everybody else and talks down to everyone.
Right. Well, there's that video of when he was getting on his private jet. He said, well, I have important business to do. That's why I can be on a private jet. Not you peons. You guys are all just doing nothing, right?
It's so hypocritical. And the idea when we all heard John Kerry was going to be back in the cabinet, in the National Security Council, I think we all took a breath back because we knew how much he wanted that Iran deal. And even though he's supposedly, the climate envoy, he's going to always be weighing in on all issues of Iran. That's why I think Biden needs to answer for it. This is really serious stuff.
But do you think the media will do anything? I mean, that partly, I talk on the show all the time now about that. We're basically just in this reality war. It's like half the people will see that story and be like, oh, there's something here. And then the other half just won't see it. And then it's like, well, now we're just fighting over what's actually true.
It's the reason nobody trusts media anymore. I mean, why should you? You're getting one side of the story. You go to any cable network and you're getting what they think, on one side or the other. What happened to the days where you just gave us the facts and we decided what we wanted to think? And I think the days of those are gone. So you'll never see CNN talking about Kerry doing this. You'll never see MSNBC talking about it. And, I think we still have to be loud. I think we have to push it. But it's the same thing with the border and Kamala at the border.
Yeah.
We can talk about how many days she hasn't been there. But, even though they're uncomfortable with the situation, they won't say anything.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.